Welcome to the Pet Expert with certified animal behavior consultant, author, and speaker, Darlene Arden. Darlene, an award-winning author, has been a frequent guest on TV and radio for many years, and now your host with the most useful, up-to-date, and interesting interviews about dogs and cats. I'm Lizette Brody, and here's your pet expert, Darlene Arden.
Hi, this is Darlene Arden, and welcome to the Pet Expert. Our guest this time is Dr. Jane Brunt. She's the Executive Director of the Catalyst Council. And if you're wondering what the Catalyst Council is, you're going to find out. And you're going to love it, really. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the Pet Expert.
Hi, Darlene, and welcome to the Catalyst Council. And happy Cat Month.
It is Happy Cat Month, and but this will be airing for a very long time. But my cat thinks every month is Happy Cat Month.
Well, I've got one sprawled out on the desk in front of me, and he seconds that.
As well he should. When Mommy's a wonderful veterinarian and the head of the Catalyst Council, why not? Mine took off. It was right here, but I think she thought she was getting another physical exam, and she just had one this week. She gave it the office. Now, I'm sure our listeners would love to know about the origins of the Catalyst Council and exactly what it is. I know, but let's tell them.
Well, years ago, there were a bunch of us got together and started talking cats like we always do, and we were commiserating about the numbers of cats in shelters and the number of cats that don't go to the veterinarian, and how can we really help cats. And we got to thinking about cats need change. We need to create a change for cats. So that's where the word catalyst came from. Catalyst is something that creates change, and we CAT a list, and so we formed an organization after a wonderful meeting where we brought together all kinds of shareholders for cat health and welfare, and media partners, and cat fanciers associations, and veterinary organizations, and companies that provide for cat things and food, and just started talking about what the current state of the cat and what we envision the cat what should be a cat's life. And today our vision is a cat caring society, and who we are now is an organization of people and individuals that connect and collaborate to advance the health, the welfare, and the value of companion cats.
I think it is so much needed because people probably don't realize that there are more owned cats in the United States, although we will be heard around the world, than there are dogs. And dogs get all the attention.
You can see that no matter whether you're walking to a pet store or into a shelter or most veterinary offices. It's dog-centric. I can remember going to a trade show with the Global Pet Expo and walking into this huge exhibition. Dog. Up on your pet, aquarium, and there's the cat section. So, but it's changing because cat people, we're coming around and being vocal and visible online, and it's really fun. So what we're about is celebrating the virtues of cats and not woe is me that the cat is perceived as under cared for or undervalued or aloof or take care of itself. We really like to promote the fun things about cats.
Oh, and I love that. And we're going to pause to listen to, that's PAUSE, not PAWS, to listen to one of our sponsors, and we'll come right back to pursue more of this.
What would you do if your dog was confiscated for breaking a city ordinance? Do you know how to find an apartment to share with your dog? Going to the internet after a legal situation develops with your dog is too late. But now there is the legal resource for pet parents called What Happens to Rover When the Marriage is Over? And Other Doggone Legal Dilemmas, written by Patty Lawson. This book can help you answer these questions and more. Patty has numerous years of legal experience, but it's her special relationship with her dog Sadie that gives her the understanding of the human-animal bond. And while researching for the book, she has spoken with hundreds of people, gathered personal stories, and researched actual case law. For more information on Patty Lawson and her other books, please go to thedogdiet.com, thedogdiet.com, or email her at thedogdiet@aol.com. You can also follow Patty on Facebook as Patty Lawson, PattiLawson, and on Twitter as @Patty Lawson. That's @PATTI_LAWSON. What Happens to Rover When the Marriage is Over? And Other Doggone Legal Dilemmas is coming from Skyhorse Publishing, September 2016.
You had said before we broke for commercial about how cats can be perceived and how they should be perceived. And this is something that's very close to my heart because I'm constantly telling people that they're not aloof, that they are solitary hunters but not solitary animals. And stop complaining when the cat jumps on your computer. He's soliciting attention and affection and he loves you. So give some of that back. And I know the Catalyst Council for people who are on Twitter is there, and they're tweeting out. And this stuff is wonderful, and there is now feline agility. So cats can do a heck of a lot more than people ever realized. What sort of feedback do you get from the public?
Well, certainly cat lovers are grateful to the recognition that we're giving cats and bringing them out in front of the public and celebrating their attributes, as we like to call them. They're unique, they're intriguing, they're funny, they're alert, they're amusing, they make you laugh, and just to think about all of those things that they bring to us. Yet we kind of historically have taken them for granted, perhaps. And I kind of, every time I talk to someone that talks to me about their pets and it doesn't include a cat, or maybe the first thing they'll say is, well, I'm a dog person. And that's typically the euphemism for, I don't like cats. And then we get into a conversation about the dogs, and we'll tell, what do you think about cats? And in most cases, they've never even had one. And they've never had that pleasure or experience to know what those hilarious things that they bring to our lives are. So it's fun letting people to explore and understand and experience them. Because then the follow-up is, well, I used to be a dog person.
Yes, it is. That is simply, or else they're like me. They're multicultural and like both.
No, they're both great too.
Anything with 4 legs and a tail, or as Betty White puts it, anything with a leg on each 4 corners and the occasional tripod as well. And it's so true. I mean, I don't understand why people believe the old wives' tales. I'd like to find those old wives and smack them upside the head. I'm very gentle with animals, and I'm into positive training, but these old wives' tales have done more damage to cats. No, it won't steal your baby's breath. No, it's not bad luck if a black cat crosses the street as Groucho Marx said he was going somewhere. And he shouldn't be loose anyway. He should be in with lots of environmental enrichment.
That's exactly right.
That is one of the things you work to tell people. And there are feline practitioners who are also very good with toy dog. So if people have both, that's the person you want to go see because they know how to adjust their touch for both.
Yeah, you're right. We have an adage in feline medicine, and you mentioned at the beginning that I'm a veterinarian, and I have focused my career to cats for over 30 years, and we have this adage that is, cats are not small dogs, and they are different. They're one of the very few species that's both predator and prey, and we have learned so much about just their behavior, and now you mentioned enrichment, how we can provide for their normal behavior and give them outlets for that to have those wonderful interactions indoors.
Well, that's what's so wonderful is literally the interaction, because not only will they play with the toy by themselves, but 3 times a day you pull out an interactive toy that you keep out of the way so they don't injure themselves on the wire or whatever else it's attached to. And you have that special interactive playtime. And it's so much fun, and it helps build the bond. And they love being brushed and combed, and all of that is bond building. And the human-animal bond is so enriching for everyone, including the cat.
Oh, you are so right. I was just at a major meeting and had an opportunity to speak with a woman who was an executive in a company, and so we got to talking about cats, of course, and she said, "Oh, I just got a new kitten, and Jax has just brought so much to my life." She said, "I had recently lost my 2 older cats, quite close apart, one to cancer and another to chronic kidney disease that she loved for so many years, and her house was empty, and she said, I just have to get a kitten." And she was going to not at first, and then suddenly I think her coworkers kind of collaborated to have this kitten that needed a home, and she ended up adopting Jax and brought him into her home, and she said, she said it's been forever since I've had a kitten, and I haven't laughed that hard, and I don't know how long. And furthermore, I've taken him to the care facility where my husband now resides, because he has Alzheimer's. And she showed me the pictures with her husband and the fishing pole with Jack, and it was just, I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it, just because here was this kitten, this innocent kitten, who's not even 4 months old, and he has brought so much to their lives. That's what they do for us.
That is exactly, and we're going to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk more about CAP, the Catalyst Council, and all those wonderful things that I'll bet some of you didn't know about.
The number of women who are diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2015 is projected to be 21,290. Approximately 14,180 will die this year as a result. The Ovarian Cancer Symptom Awareness Organization works to expand awareness of the silent symptoms of ovarian cancer so that it can be found early. If ignored, it progresses and is advanced by the time it's discovered. Part of the One Health initiative uniting human and veterinary medicine in a common goal, they are fighting ovarian cancer with animal passion. The Ovarian Cancer Symptom Awareness Organization is a 501c3 charity. Donations are tax deductible. To learn more about their organization and the silent symptoms, visit ovariancancersymptomawareness.org today. That's Ovarian Cancer Symptom Awareness, OVARIANCERSYMPTOMAWRENESS.org.
What you were talking about with basically what she's doing with this kitten is therapy work, and people don't understand that cats also do therapy work. Like dogs, they need to have the right temperament. And with a kitten, you can start with a kitten doing almost anything. And I myself, I probably shouldn't have an infant of any species. And there are so many older cats waiting for homes. And not just mixed breeds, but sometimes the pedigree cat has lost his home through no fault of his own and needs a second chance at life and can bring so much into someone's life just by being there. And I wish people would think about doing that and getting involved with what the Catalyst Council is about. Now, you have a newsletter that comes out, or did. Is that still available for pet owners?
Yes, they can just go right to our website, catalystcouncil.org, and there's a way to sign up for the newsletter right on the homepage. And we've got a whole separate program going on through the month of September, which will be archived and available for Happy Cat Month to talk about happy, healthy cats and cats as healers and just go through all of the attributes and fun things that cats do for us. Because it really is about a social interaction, not only with cats, but with other cat owners to create this awareness among non-cat owners that, hey, these are really pretty cool species.
That's so true. I mean, and you mentioned about being a veterinarian for 30 years and involved with feline only. And what interests me is that before that, I don't know if it's 35 or 40 or 50 years ago, cats really were treated by veterinarians like small dogs. They really didn't have any basis. Somebody, somewhere, was brilliant enough to come up with the concept that maybe they're different, and it took a while to figure out that they need taurine in their diet. And all of these wonderfully special things. What steered you towards a veterinary practice of feline medicine?
Well, I saw a need working in both mixed animal practice and a traditional all creatures, great and small, practice with cows and horses and pigs and cats and dogs, and then in the only companion animal practice for a few years, I saw that cats really weren't getting the attention that they needed. We're scared a lot of the time. We're coming into a place with dogs barking and it's noisy and there's a lot of activity going around that maybe there was another way to do it. Fortunately, there were some really amazing people that forged the way for cat-only practices in various cities. Phil McDonough in Philadelphia, Barbara Stein in Chicago and others, and Tom Elston now in Irvine, California. Amazing people who get cats. So it was easy for me once I saw the light. That said, and relative to what you said, we didn't used to know, or we used to do this. We have been so lucky in veterinary medicine as a whole to be able to take the new knowledge and apply it and just keep doing things better. We didn't know about the taurine. You're right. And then when that was discovered that it caused both eye lesions and heart lesions and that it was being destroyed in pet food processing, well, guess what? All the pet food manufacturers stepped up and added taurine and changed their practices. So now to see a taurine deficiency in a cat is very rare. Fast forward to today where we're understanding how to handle cats and we no longer restrain them. In our practice, we haven't scrubbed a cat for many, many years. And there are ways to handle cats that are feline friendly, cat friendly, and it takes a while for people to understand that, to try it, and to believe it. And fortunately, more and more science is coming out about cats and their care and their conditions. And so that's why they're living longer and they're well cared for. We just need to get more people to take them home.
Exactly. Take them home and take them in for regular veterinary visits just the way they would their dog, because they need it. And they need wellness visits when they get to be seniors, and it should be twice a year. And that's not such a big deal, because you think how many years they live compared to the human life. If we go once a year, that's like, close to 7 years for them. So twice a year is every 3.5 years. They're still going less often than we are.
Yep. Yep, you're exactly right. And there are some barriers for that not happening. One is, you mentioned the cat seems aloof, and people think, well, they can take care of themselves, and they don't show their signs of illness very readily. Like, for example, arthritis is highly underdiagnosed in cats. We know that scientific studies show that 90% of cats over the age of 11 have some degree of X-ray signs of arthritis in their elbows. Yet we don't think about it. And why don't we think about it? Because, well, they don't live like a 10-year-old golden retriever does, or a Labrador. They just act more quiet, or don't jump up on the counter anymore. So people don't perceive that as an illness or a problem that now we know, so we can counsel people on that. So their health care is really important.
It really is. And we're going to break for one more sponsor, and then we're going to come back and wrap up with Dr. Jane Brunt, and we've got a few more things to say about the Catalyst Council. Matty Dog is on a mission to shine love on everyone. It's all about the love. That's what the hottest social media Annapel Matty Dog says. Matty Dog uses social media to help animal-focused charities raise funds, to interview celebrities about this animal rescue work, and to create events to raise awareness of animals in need. Matty Dog himself is a rescue dog, saved by his loving parents that have set up a charity in Matty's name to ensure that his legacy lives on. Matty Dog has won awards, been featured in magazines, has 2 books under his paws, and is a certified dog author. His forte is animal rescue social media. Do you have an animal rescue campaign where you need help, or want to tell your story, or interested in being interviewed? Contact Matty Dog at chieffuzzydud@mattydog.com. That's chieffuzzydud@mattydog.com. Don't worry, Matty Dog won't bite. He's a very friendly and would love to hear from you. Catch Matty Dog on Twitter at http://twitter.com/MattyDog, or Facebook at facebook.com/MattyDog the Shih Tzu, MattyDog and make sure to visit his website at mattydog.com. Well, we're back, and we have Dr. Jane Brunt with us. Jane, the information you're giving us is so invaluable, and I certainly hope everybody will go to the Catalyst Council, CATALYSTCOUNCIL.org. Sign up for the newsletter, read the whole site. It's really interesting. And one thing that makes dog people upset when I tell them this, Jane, is the cats train faster than dogs. I use operant conditioning, clicker training, and they are so smart. They can do so many things. And my senior girl is 16 and a half, and she seems like a 7-year-old, according to her, as we put it, pediatrician. And yet she has arthritis. I noticed it, but that's why owners need to be tuned into their cats. To any pet that you have to be tuned in. The cats, as you said, are so stoic and so quiet about it. They don't complain. Dogs will limp. Dogs will look at you pitifully. Can I have a treat? Oh, this hurts. You don't get that from a cat.
That's why those yearly checkups are so important. Even when they seem well, you want to catch problems early in the process. When you have the greatest chance of curing or managing a problem, things like oral disease. We know that 60% of cats over the age of 3 have oral disease. And if we treat it early, we can prevent tooth loss and pain and suffering. So So don't wait until they're acting sick. Just have a good physical exam with your veterinarian. If you don't have a veterinarian, the American Association of Feline Practitioners, and their website is catvet.com, is a great resource for finding a feline veterinarian. And not all of our members are feline only, but it does designate if a member is a feline exclusive veterinarian. And there's also a new program called Cat Friendly Practice. And those are practices that have shown some real interest in providing for cats that they're practiced, be it all cat or other species as well, but really committed caring veterinarians.
And it's wonderful, and really should teach your cat to enjoy his terrier, so he'll go in and not mind. And that first visit to the veterinarian should just be a get acquainted visit before the first checkup, and bring a couple of the cat's favorite treats for the veterinarian and staff to hand out if they'll take a minute, call in advance. And that way they know they're among friends, and then they just go home. They're not having a thermometer stuck up their butt. Everybody's poking and prodding, so I'm a great proponent of that. Is there anything you would like to tell our listeners today, Jane? Anything we've missed?
Well, just a kind of a quick point on that carrier conditioning, habituation, as we say. Our Catalyst Council website has right on the homepage has a link to our video, Cats and Carriers, Friends, Not Foes, because we know that is one of the barriers for cats coming in for their regular checkups and for health care, because it's a hassle and people think cats hate it. But in reality, the carrier is a cool place to be. It's a nice place to hide. You should leave it out all the time and let them get used to it. Check out the website. We have lots of resources. We do a lot with shelters and in communities to help cats get adopted and get that lifelong care in the home. So please visit the website. You can contact us. And thank you, Darlene, for everything that you do for cats in the cat kingdom and community, catdom. And it's a pleasure being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for accepting our invitation to come. You're an absolutely wonderful guest, and you taught the listeners so much about cats, and that's invaluable. And I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank my wonderful producer, Lisa Bennett, and my terrific engineer, John, who is phenomenal. And we are going to be back again. So stay tuned. There's always a new podcast. You can catch up with the not even old ones. It's always new information that's always good to learn. We're staying as up